Ontario's new housing minister answered questions for the first time today. He says a review of the Greenbelt lands could lead to parcels being removed from the protected sites, and there are plenty of critics calling for the lands to stay intact. Jason Gaidola joins us live tonight in Ancaster, where the city is holding a public meeting about the Greenbelt. Good evening, Jason.
Yeah, good evening, Taz. There's definitely no secret that there's been plenty of pushback regarding the government's removal of Greenbelt lands, and tonight Hamiltonians will be able to give their input at this meeting, and the City of Hamilton says they will take that engagement with them when they go and meet with provincial facilitators. And meanwhile, Housing Minister Paul Calandra says while he waits to see how the ministry will proceed with the review, he's introducing stricter building policies.
It will look at the entirety of the Greenbelt. There might be lands that need to be added to the Greenbelt. There may be some lands that are removed, but it will be a fair and open process.
Following the Premier's announcement of a Greenbelt review yesterday, Ontario's newly appointed housing minister says housing ministry officials will be the ones to look into protected lands and the hundreds of development applications.
But I will not be stopped. I have to be honest with you. I will not be stopped on our mission of building 1.5 million homes. This is a priority for us.
However, Paul Calandra wouldn't assume what parameters the review will entail and expects provincial adjudicators to have their work completed by the end of the year. This after a cabinet shuffle, former Minister Stephen Clark's resignation, and two scathing reports that found his chief of staff favoring certain developers when selecting which lands would come out of the Greenbelt.
Developing luxury sprawl on the Greenbelt is going to do nothing to build the affordable housing we need and everything to make life even more expensive for Ontarians.
Today, opposition leaders fired back, calling the review troubling and a waste of time.
This review is actually a bigger threat to the Greenbelt than what we had 2 or 3 days ago. They are not going to let up. I'm not going to let up. We're going to keep pushing back until the Premier does the right thing.
Developers must be salivating after what they saw Premier Ford say and then the Minister Calandra today. But the bottom line is they're not being tough with developers. They're opening up more of the Greenbelt. They're still facing a possible RCMP investigation. The Integrity Commissioner is still looking at the Premier's stag and doe, his Premier daughter's stag and doe, and the subsequent wedding and developers attending these sorts of functions. This is still going to be a big issue for this government.
Upon a provincial review, Calandra says more housing policy changes are coming, including zoning order revisions, increasing a speculation tax, and implementing a use it or lose it rule for approved developers who aren't building homes.
I will follow what the department has put in place. At the same time, I will obviously, as I expect everybody, my colleagues and myself, reach out to the Integrity Commissioner to ensure the highest of standards are met with myself and my team.
The Office of the Attorney General tells CHCH News that given major concerns of lobbying practices in Ontario, it has informed us that Premier Doug Ford has instructed the Attorney General to actually give us recommendations for stricter governance, which could result in stricter penalties and possible jail time. As for Greenbelt lands here in the area, Hamiltonians can expect a presentation and a Q&A here in Ancaster, and this meeting is set to start at 7 o'clock.